Welcome to Bad Gear, the show about the world's most hated audio tools. After weeks of brand new direct-to-Bad Gear game changers, even hardened internet trolls like me fancy a little palate cleanser. Today we are going to talk about the original Roland TR-707. This vintage drum machine and digital sibling to the more iconic TR-808 and TR-909 is mostly perceived in one of two ways. A timeless classic for both realistic drum sounds and futuristic 80s house, or the most boring and obsolete cheesebox since whatever Casio came up with back then.
At the first glance, this is blasphemy. The 1985 bestseller comes with a display that fills contemporary Roland users with envy, the classic TR step sequencer, and a set of lo-fi, short, rigid, and somewhat harsh samples you will most probably know even if you never used the original machine. These drum hits can't be pitched, there are no effects whatsoever, and you will have to make do without essential sound shaping tools like envelopes. The sounds are pre-panned when using the master output, and the only available parameter is volume, accessible via a super inviting onboard mixer that is hard to resist. In face of the fact that sample playback is limited to bit depths of 6 and 8, one might be surprised that the 707 is punchy and sits well in a mix. A functional kick with a softer variation, snappy snares both high and low, corny toms, and the housey clap will feel at home in many retro genres, but in contrast to internet rumors, the hi-hats are not the ones you will find on the TR-909. Every cowbell is sacred, but this one won't replace your 808. Just like clap, tambourine, and side stick, it didn't get its own playback channel. Crash and ride are aggressive old-school techno goodness. While I wouldn't want to have pure and undiluted versions of these tones in my tracks, multiple outputs allow for individual processing, if you have the gear to do so. The aforementioned sequencer is the real deal. Even Gibbons, after a Hunter S. Thompson breakfast, can program it It's limited to 16 steps but allows for basic pattern chaining, and there are 2 levels of accent. Feel free to arrange up to 4 tracks in song mode. I want. Vintage drum machine connoisseurs might know that the TR-707 was a well-reputed DAW-less centerpiece even before the dawn of DAWs. DIN sync and a trigger output are nice, but only a healthy dose of nostalgia will let you enjoy the internal clock, which is all over the place, and MIDI implementation. The machine outputs note data in track mode only, so its use as a sequencer for other gear is limited. Leave a comment if tape sync is your thing. Given the small tonal range and lack of tweakability, the 707 is best served with its mostly identical sibling, the 727, which is filled to the brim with lo-fi Latin sounds, but you can also expand its sonic capabilities by butchering your beloved antique in circuit bending experiments or carefully install a ROM expansion mod. Like everything in life, TR-707s have become weirdly expensive. Thanks to Philipp of Feedback Underground Studios for lending me this beautiful artifact.
In a time of expensive lins and DMXs, the TR-707 was a godsend for musicians on a budget. Will it still do the trick, or is it easier to just use the samples?
You have already heard the drum machine sounds in almost every Bad Gear episode. Yes, it's been 707 samples all along, and yes, the original seems to hit different. Time to bust out the Toxic Twins and a little compressor for the first jam.
That's a damn fine mixer. Sure, the overall timbre of the drum machine is a little rough without effects, but it works well in this context and certainly is a piece of music history. As we have seen, a little processing goes a long way. Let's crank it up another notch with a contemporary kick and a selection of guitar pedals for some more experimental tones. That a lot. The basic 80s samples stay musical even at extreme FX settings, and while I like the original kick, the analog flavor of the yomox adds depth to the arrangement. I wanna know how far we can push the lo-fi drums with the power of the almighty DAW in When Life Gives You Cowbells, play a solo, Proto Phonk meets orchestral synthwave drum programming mannerism. The TR-707 is a piece of gear from a time that was very different from ours. Today, even a humble music production setup surpasses the sonic possibilities and feature set of the 707, rendering it obsolete for most applications. That being said, I was flabbergasted by how much fun it is to use. The mixer feels great, your guitar floorboard and old Mackie console wants to be friends with its numerous outputs, and the strange mix of legendary sounds and the limitations of yesteryear can be very inspiring. It is safe to say that I don't need a 707. Why do I keep looking for one at the hugely inflated reverb prices? Thanks for watching and see you next time. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Feel free to like, subscribe, become a patron and leave a comment what other kind of gear you would like to see and hear on the show.